What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all well, and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. We are continuing on with the battle for Denerim. Right here at the gates of Fort Drakon, thanks to Riordan's sacrifice, we saw the ARCHDEMON crash landed on top, so all that's left to do is fight our way through the fort and meet the thing that this whole game's been about destroying. The final face-off. I'm sure the bulk of the Horde is here, gathering around the ARCHDEMON to protect it now that it's injured. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. Nothing we can't handle, nothing we're not up to. Right. This fight is a nightmare. Pun intended, since we're on nightmare mode. This fight is very chaotic, so I would recommend immediately doing whatever you can to try and deal with all this. This is a problem. And so we're going to do everything we can to immediately stop some of this.
Weapons at the ready.
Alistair needs to get the aggro of the Dragon Thrall. We need to get the archers off our battery. I'm going to take this fight very slow and very cautious. Now, you'll see the sneaky little mage up there, so we are going to pull one of our mages forward. He's going to mana clash this emissary, get him out of there. Now Morrigan's going to pull back a little bit. You see, we're already having a very bad time here. Wind can heal us through some of this. Alistair's using Shield Bash. I wouldn't like you to. What I would actually like you to do here is take some of the aggro off of us. In fact, since he has been struggling so much with this, it's actually about time we just micromanage the hell out of him. We're going to turn all his abilities off. We need to be so cautious with his stamina bar here. We're just going to control it all ourselves. Get a war cry and knock them down for me as you leave.
As you wish.
Already one of our mages has done an amazing thing for us. Right, Alistair, this is what I was afraid of. Wind, pull back. Morrigan, pull back. I'll do a whirlwind to try and catch those off guard right there as they go up. Now somebody needs to do something about our mage line. Morrigan's down. There's nothing we can do about it. Wind is still keeping on a little. Should have microed that a little harder. Nonetheless, we're going to get everybody healed up. Alistair, you need to cleanse aura immediately. I'm going to do what I can to take care of some of this. Despawn off our mage. Our battery is very important. Right. Now you need to take a sip. Because we need Morrigan back immediately. Morrigan fell here. The cleanse aura didn't work for him, so that's unfortunate. I guess we'll go forward for this. Now, Win, you're gonna have to try and get a mass paralysis off here. I'm gonna hope that I can keep the aggro. You're gonna take that. Again, I just hope I can keep the aggro while Win pops that. Wonderful, she got it off. Now I'm gonna heal. The outcome of a fight this can be. Morrigan, you do need an injury kit, and you're gonna take a lyrium potion. I want you to have your abilities up for this. Alistair's holding the bouquet off on the side. Get this alpha out of there. We've nuked our entire stamina bar dealing with this. Okay, we made it. This fight is very, very tough. That can be a really hard one. Make sure we save now that we're past that. Yeah, this opening fight here can be very tough. You see, I almost messed up with as strong as my party build is. It was almost a wrap for me, so be very careful when you go through Right, onwards to Fort Drakon.
Let's get started.
If the welcoming party we had at the gate is anything to go on, I'm sure inside the fort itself is going to be pure chaos. There's even dragon thrall down here. ARCHDEMON brought its children. No surprise, really, it is a tainted high dragon. And you see what came of the castle when the Darkspawn finally got in here. I can only imagine the abominations we have waiting for us once we actually reach the end. Gonna be paying a lot of close attention to our mages here. Real tough fight. Right, all I see is shades. I don't see shades. Okay. I'm gonna keep my entire party together here because I need Alistair to watch him. Genlock Conjurer, I already see you. Gonna hit him with a Mana Clash. That absolutely nuked him. Now she's gonna take that. I'm gonna go chop that wood. Alistair's gonna taunt, and we're gonna hope for the best. Stun him down. Now let's get a little control over here on the battlefield. Win is doing okay. Morrigan, I would actually like you to hit this Genlock with a Crushing Prison. He did resist it, that's okay. We're gonna try and do something here with Paralysis to try and take some of this heat off. You're gonna rip a Warcry. And help him with the Shade, and then I'm gonna go after the Conjurer. Yeah, she did get the Paralysis off. Again, I want the Conjurer. Alistair ripped on. Now I had a Warcry. And this Conjurer is going to be out of there. Perfect. Now we just got to deal with the Shades. Good weapon sweep to finish that. And we're good. Like I said, there's a lot of tough fights in here, so be cautious. Be mindful of all of your companions here, especially if you're running mages. They're very squishy and you need them. If they fall, it's going to be a very bad day for your entire party, so take heed of all your companions here. We're going to get that out of the way immediately. Now again, see an emissary here, so what Morrigan is going to do is he's not going to get the chance to run from us. He's dead. Now Alistair is going to rip. You're actually not going to rip a taunt yet. Now you're going to rip a taunt. Then you're going to Warcry. Now we're going to handle this. There's a shape changer down there. Now Morrigan's ability is still on CD, so Wynn's going to rip a Mind Blast. Take care of the leftover enemies here. As soon as we're done with the rabble, we're going to go get some on that shape changer.
Right then.
He's stunned, which is perfect. Gives us plenty of time to gap close. Hit him with a riposte to stun him. And burst him down. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. Now, surprisingly, here is Sandal. Around a lot of dead bodies.
Enchantment?
Sandal, you have any of your dad's wares for sale? Or actually, listen, you're surrounded by Darkspawn corpses. What happened here?
Enchantment!
Must have been a hell of an enchantment. Right, we don't actually need any enchanting done, so we're not going to go for that. We don't really need his inventory, but we'll check it.
Enchantment?
Enchantment. Do you have any of your dad's wares? He does have health potions. That's exactly what we needed. We want the injury kits too. Just in case anybody goes down, Wynn has to revive them. I think that'll be good. Rip the save before we head on to the next floor. We actually put ourselves on a low ground here, but it did give us a good view of the battlefield we were about to run into. We don't need the XP, but my loot brain is going to be killing me inside if I don't check these chests. I'll definitely take the health potion. It's worth it after all. Now, as we run down through this floor of the tower, things are going to get very dicey. There's going to be a lot of ambushes set up for us. They know we're coming at this point.
As you wish. Right.
Deal with this alpha first.
You had it coming.
Alistair's going to hit Thorn. I definitely made the right choice turning his abilities off. Rip Punisher on this alpha. Morgan hit Mind Blast. Okay, that didn't do much. I need all of you to get away from this alpha. And I need Alistair to be patient. Now hit Warcry. Now Alistair is going to go ahead and shield bash this alpha to get him off. And I should be able to finish this one up in the meantime. Indeed. Perfect. And that's the end of them. Both decapitated. As they should be. Now I do want to be thorough, like I said, in this, or anything we leave behind could come up behind us while we're fighting the Archdemon. We don't want that. So we're going to clear out as much of this as I can. I'm not very hopeful about finding survivors inside the fort. It seems that I'm not the only one being thorough. See, there's an ambush behind this door. We're gonna rip a Whirlwind. Asta's gonna rip Torn. We're gonna do everything we can to get him out of here. Alistair, rip a Warcry. Master Assassin's the main target now. I don't want my mages or my tank running into any of these. That'll take him out of the fight, so I'll get those out of the way. Master Assassin indeed. He's a tanky one. Expecting a ton of our attacks, but it's not going to be enough for him. Nicely done, Alistair.
Let's get started.
Looks like these are the men's barracks.
On it.
Again, you see another big ambush up front. You know it's going to get dicey when the game saves for you, so we'll go ahead and rip our own save. On the map, we came in here, so we've cleared most of this so far. Right, what do we have? An emissary and 2 ogres. Morgan,
I am ready.
you already know what I want you to do. Mana Clash this mage. He's dead, perfect. Now I need my tank to pop off. Mass paralysis, letting me out of the ogre's arms. It's very good. That's going to be the end of this ogre. You'll see Alistair handling his business in the background. Mage is getting some too, it's not just Alistair. Again, so far the Horde has absolutely nothing for us. We are going to check all these chests. We weren't privy to this part of the fort last time we came through. Who knows what kind of artifacts could be in here. It is the main fortress of Ferelden. And here we are at the rooftop. The final confrontation. We're definitely going to be ripping a save before we get up here. Now, this is a hell of a fight, and I'm not going to be doing the ballista cheese, so we'll see how this goes. We did save all our armies up to this point, so let's see. Love the Wilhelm scream. It's a hell of a thing. Now we know just how tough dragon fights are. It's not our first rodeo when it comes to dragons. But immediately I'm gonna hit Mark of Death. Alistair is going to taunt. We're gonna call in the Legion. We're gonna try not to have our mages get cooked alive by this.
This should be easy enough.
You have to be mindful of where he runs to. He's definitely a hoppy one. I do not like how close my mage here, Morrigan, is to this, so she's gonna back it up.
It's either you or me, and it's gonna be me. Right. This should be easy enough.
Not a fan of my health currently. Doing really, really good so far. Win, take a sip. Morrigan, take a sip. I need you guys up and ready. And now me and Alistair are gonna go get some.
As you wish.
Alistair, I'm gonna need you to rip Thorn. I'm gonna need you to rip Warcry. Resisting most of the Archdemon's nonsense here. Make sure we're in that flanking route. We do have the Legion of the Dead fighting the Archdemon, so there'll be no retreat from them. They're definitely locked in and ready to fight this to the bitter end. Win, I see your mana count is way, way down. You're gonna sip that. Right. Pull all my forces up here. We got Spawn to fight. No way it was gonna be that easy, right? We're gonna be keeping a big ol' eye on all of our companions here. Gonna have to go lie on our abilities for a second. There is no such thing as a stamina potion, but thanks to our build, we do get stamina back when we get a kill, so as long as we're cautious, we'll be okay. And Morrigan is out of lyrium potions on her bar, so we're gonna drop this on here. You're gonna take care of that emissary before he gets a chance to do any nonsense. The ARCHDEMON. We have all Eamon and all kinds of people up here. See, we actually can't do much about the Archdemon yet. We just kind of have to kill his horde until he comes back down. Worthy of noting, the first enchanter Irving and all Eamon is here. The main bulk of that. Now we gotta take care of these. Again, pull all my companions up. Thanks to the friendly fire mechanic there, the emissary here just did us a huge favor. That's the end of him. Archdemon's at half health. Alistair, moving and ripped on. Morrigan, take a sip. Piece by piece, we're gonna chop this horde down. Okay, we got hit, you see, by a chain line in there, so we're just gonna have everybody sip before that has a chance to do any kind of nonsense to us. Everybody's gonna take a big old gulp of an icy. Alistair's gonna hit a war cry. It's the last thing he's gonna be able to do for a while, but it's gonna give us some valuable time here. Morgan, take another sip. Take this too. Win, same. You take some lyrium. I need their abilities here to help us. Now he's back in the fray. I'm gonna hit him with Mark of Death. Mass paralysis popped off on our mages, which is great. Morgan, take a sip. Win, take a sip. We're gonna keep them popping what they need to pop constantly if we can. How's the taunt? We don't need Warcry, it won't help us much against the Archdemon. Where did he run to? You see he's up there, so we're gonna activate all of our party and we're gonna chase him down. With the Legion of the Dead.
Time for some fun.
Alistair rip taunt. It's the last thing you'll do for a while, but I do want the flank angle. He's very low, we're almost there. Whirlwind those off us. Not long for this world. Right there. And that's the end of the Blight.
Now we get our hands dirty.
And without the Archdemon to command them, they flee.
And then it was over. With the Archdemon dead, the Darkspawn horde quickly crumbled. Most fled back into the deep roads. They would remain a threat in the years to come, but the Blight had been ended before it had truly begun. Ferelden had been saved, and the entire kingdom rose up to joyously greet its new king and queen. Grey Wardens stood redeemed, and a new age had begun.
I wish you were there to see it, Duncan.
My friends, we are gathered to celebrate those responsible for our victory. Of those who stood against the Darkspawn siege of Denerim, there is one in particular who deserves commendation. The one who led the final charge against the Archdemon remains with us still, an inspiration to all he saved that day. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the hero of Ferelden, the first Grey Warden to defeat the Blight since Garahel 4 centuries ago.
Now you recognize this handsome double.
My friend, it is hard to imagine how you could have aided Ferelden more. I think it only appropriate that I return the favor. Is there any boon that you might request of Ferelden's king? If it is within my power, I will grant it.
The sacrifices of the Wardens should not be forgotten again.
Now that's a very good point. I think we can begin with a monument here in Denerim, dedicated to the Grey Wardens who have fallen. Duncan, Riordan, all of them. And it is high time some scholars were collected to learn more about the Darkspawn. We'll face them again, with the dwarves as well as here. Let it also be known that the Arling of Amaranthine, once the land of Arl Howe, is now granted to the Grey Wardens.
That's justice.
There they can rebuild, following the example of those who went before them. What are your plans? Will you remain with the Grey Wardens?
And how his jealousy and envy has cost his entire line, the Arlen. Very fitting, considering it was all for his envy and jealousy of how much more he wanted. Now his line has nothing. The Darkspawn are still a threat. The Grey Wardens need me.
That they do. I'm glad one of us is staying with them at least. There's a group of Ferelden citizens waiting outside to get a look at their hero. I suggest you make at least a brief appearance before they storm the gate. Just tell the guard at the door when you're ready.
Eager to see the Warden Commander, are they? Now you did notice, as we were panning in here on the cutscene, there's a handsome devil down there wearing the shield of the Kuzlans. There's Fergus, our brother. He made it after all. We will go ahead and catch up with him, but first...
So, we made it. I'm impressed, aren't you? The odds were completely against one of us actually getting to the Archdemon. But of course you would make it. I knew you would. I just don't understand how you're still alive. I guess Riordan was wrong?
I guess Morrigan was right. Morrigan saved me.
I had no idea. I suppose that makes sense. Speaking of Morrigan, do you know where she went? I'm told she vanished right after the battle. No goodbyes or anything.
True to her word. We don't know where she went, but I'll find her.
Good riddance, I say. At any rate, I can see Arleman giving me that look. More king stuff, I suppose. I can never wait. And if I don't get the chance some other time, thanks. For everything.
No thanks are necessary. It's been an honor, Alistair.
I'll let you get to your adoring public. They want to see the hero of Ferelden, and who am I to keep them waiting?
Only my king. Let's talk to Honora.
Allow me to offer you my personal congratulations, Warden. I must admit that while I did not share my father's pessimism regarding the Grey Wardens, I had my doubts that such a small number of you could be victorious. Yet here you are.
To quote somebody from Dragon Age Inquisition on what can one warden do? Save the fucking world if pressed. Damn right.
Normally I would call that bravado, but it seems your confidence is deserved. Tell me something. Is Alistair always like that?
Like what?
Well, he answers every serious question with a jest. Is that normal? Thankfully, he has surprised me with his eagerness to learn the business of ruling. Despite his questionable humor, he may yet be a good king. Oh well. His heart is in the right place. In that he reminds me of Kaelin, which is no failing. Now I see ARCHDEMON gesturing to me. There is more work to be done. I must take my leave of you, I fear. Enjoy the rest of the celebration, Warden. I shall speak to you again before the day is done.
I have faith in the two of you. I think you'll both do great. Go ahead on and talk to ARCHDEMON. You must be pleased.
It is over. I can barely believe it. You stopped the civil war and then defeated the Blight. On behalf of Ferelden, allow me to say thank you. It truly cannot be said enough.
I'm a Grey Warden. That's what we do.
So I'm learning. It's too bad that you aren't remaining here in the capital. The hero of Ferelden would have influence, but I understand. Myself, I will be remaining.
Gotta turn that political brain off, Eamon.
Tegan will take over the rule of Redcliffe, at least for the time being. Connor
I'm sure he's gonna need the help.
Isolde refuses to speak of what happened. She says she never wants to go back. I cannot thank you enough for saving them. They are the joy of my existence.
Of course.
Tell me, have you noticed anything strange about the lad? He seems quiet.
Consider what he's been through.
Ah, you are no doubt correct. It is my imagination, I am sure. But here I am rambling on. I shall let you get back to your celebration, Warden. Enjoy it while you can.
There's no doubt to be some residue from what happened. Something tells me you don't quite go from being possessed to not with no side effects.
So it survived after all. My impression that all creatures made of flesh were hopelessly squishy was, premature.
It's nice to be appreciated.
It has made me revise my opinion of its kind, my kind. I am, or at least was, a dwarf. A creature of flesh. I have to keep reminding myself that. In fact, I think I may even try to become one again.
Come again?
Wynne has offered to accompany me to Tevinter to speak with the mages there. The Circle of Minrathrus has the largest collection of arcane knowledge in Thedas. If it is possible to reverse this process, then the knowledge to do so will be there, or that is my hope. And if not, then I will keep looking. I have nothing if not time, yes?
One of the many benefits of immortality. Then good luck.
I intend to return eventually, unless I finally decide to destroy all pigeons everywhere. That may take a while, but otherwise I will come back. If it happens to one day see a tiny little dwarf who appears very nervous of being squished, that will be me. Until then, I wish it well. You have been a fine friend.
And Shale finally addresses us as something apart from it. Godspeed, Shale.
When I heard that my little brother was not only a Grey Warden, but also leading Ferelden into battle, I was surprised, to put it mildly, Father. He would have been so proud of you. I know I am. You've done good.
What happened to you, Fergus?
I never made it to the battle at Ostagar. We were still scouting in the wilds when we were attacked by a party of Darkspawn. Most of my men were killed. I woke up 2 weeks later in a chastened hut, wounded and feverish. By the time I was able to sneak out of the wilds, you were already marching to Denerim. I tried to get word to High Ever. You can imagine what happened, I suppose.
Wow. And the hut in the wilds would be Flemmer's hut, so not only did she save us, she actually saved our brother. Hal paid for what he did. I killed him myself.
Hal was a greedy, traitorous bastard. I just wish I'd been there to help you kill him. At least Amaranthine now belongs to the Grey Wardens. There's some justice in that, I think.
I would agree.
I need to go back to High Ever. See if I can clean up the mess Hal made of it. I will see you soon, I hope.
We can certainly visit. Of course you will.
Good. High Ever won't be the same without everyone around.
A lot of bad memories there.
Or I'll find you and nag you like Mother did until you're ready to tear out your hair.
You too, Fergus. You're gonna have to really step it up in the political department.
I will be relieved when all this pomp and ceremony is done. Such events are perfect opportunities for assassins, after all. I can't help but expect the crows to appear at any moment, which would be a welcome break, mind you.
You think the crows will still come after you?
Eventually. With Taliesin dead, it may take them time to figure out what has happened, but they are like the tides, predictable. You know, it does occur to me that staying in one place is only going to invite the crows to find me that much quicker. While fun, that might eventually get complicated. You said earlier that you were planning on returning to the Grey Warden fold soon. Is that true?
Why? You thinking of joining?
A Grey Warden? Me? Oh, no. There are some bodily fluids even I won't touch. Grey Wardens seem to be a fun bunch to hang around, however. Maybe they won't mind a resident assassin. I'm an excellent mascot.
I'm sure that can be arranged. I'd be happy for the company.
And I promise not to get you into too much trouble. Well, no more than you get me into, anyhow.
Well, I did just make you fight a demonic god dragon. I think a little bit of trouble is justified.
We can speak after you have been sufficiently paraded in front of the populace. Don't worry.
I'm just glad it's
I'll
not
keep an eye on
posthumously.
you and make sure no one gets a clear shot. Not without paying me a great deal of coin, anyhow.
It never hurts to have an assassin on board.
The hero of Ferelden. My. How does it feel?
It's a little strange.
Of that I have no doubt. It's a title you'll be wearing for a long time to come, just as Loghain wore his. But it's not so bad, is it? A blight defeated with the other nations barely becoming aware. Who could ask for better?
I didn't do it on my own.
I don't think many heroes ever do. I'm glad not to be on the receiving end of all this attention myself. I say, let the young have their fame. Not that I've gone without notice. Irving asked me to take over as first enchanter, but I don't wish to go back. Not after all this. Instead, I've decided to travel. Shale has expressed a desire to go to Tevinter to look into a way to regain her mortality. And I will join her.
Sounds like fun.
I understand you will be leaving. I wish you good fortune on your journeys, wherever they may take you. If we do not see each other again, live well, Warden. And thank you.
Live well, Win. The line she said about heroes never doing it on their own is very true. Even in reality, behind every great hero or great man, woman, is other great men and women that did the small things along the way. Whether that's down to generals, lieutenants, sergeants, wives, children, spouses. It takes a lot more than just one. Sten's over here hanging out with the Mabari.
It is good to see you again, Kadan. These people, they call you hero. It is a strange word, but I think I understand its meaning. The Arishok on occasion has declared a Kunari to be Kunoran Vel, one who serves as an example to others. Such examples are always made after their death, however, a death in service to the Kyun. A living Kunoran Vel would be too proud.
Did the Kunari celebrate and put on parades?
When a Kunoran Vel is declared, certainly. It is one of few occasions when the Kunari are permitted to engage in revelry. There is imbibing of spirits, public chanting, meditations abandoned. It is madness.
It sounds like a crazy time. That would be quite a sight.
It is interesting. It can take days for the Ben Hasrath to restore order. There may even be executions. I suppose I should tell you. I have decided to return to my people. Your quest is done, and thus so is my reason for accompanying you.
And I was just starting to get used to you.
And I to you, strangely enough. It must be said. You found my sword and gave me a chance to restore my honor. I owe you a great debt.
You've paid that debt in full. There is absolutely no debt at all. You owe me nothing.
Some debts cannot be discarded. There will come a time when I will return, and then it shall be done. Perhaps I shall see you again one day. Until then, may you always find the path you seek. Farewell, Kadan.
Godspeed, Sten. And now we have Ogren.
Humans have a better taste for spirits than I thought. The ale up here is actually good. Orzammar ale.
See his old flame there on the left in Felsey.
Probably because they put dirt in it. Go figure.
That would do it. Enjoying yourself already, I see.
After what we went through, I think I've earned it. I think you've earned it.
I tend to agree.
I guess you're heading off soon, huh? Leaving the city?
That's the plan.
I'm thinking I'll stick around myself. At least for a bit. I'm getting used to that big sky up there. And I'm thinking I might just look up Felsey again. See where that goes.
I'm glad. I hope the two are. I hope you two are happy.
I'll drink to that. Ah, well, enough babbling. That pot-bellied son of a whore Tegan said I'd pass out before drinking an entire barrel of pickle juice. I aim to prove him wrong.
The pickle juice is disgusting. Don't ever change.
Who, me? It's been good traveling with you, Warden. Don't get lost in the shuffle now.
Love that line. Don't get lost in the shuffle now. Now, that is actually our Mabari, good old Duke. Can't talk to him, unfortunately, and I think we're wrapped up on talking to everybody, so only thing left to do is head on out to the credits. There's going to be some things to read for the credits, but I am going to drop a save here so we can come back and record the final episode of the Codex series when we get back here, but for now, that is all we've done. I guess it's time to say a few words on how much I absolutely love this game. I think the music, the story, the characters, the voice acting, the environments, the pacing, the progression, the combat, that old charming CRPG style is all as close to perfect as it can be. There's a reason this is my favorite game, and it's every time I play it, I'm left with this kind of empty, hollow feeling. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do next or what I'm going to play next. Like, how can anything compare to this? Of course, I have my YouTube channel now, so there'll be plenty of things for us to get into now that we finish this journey. But still, there is a reason why this game is... It's not a 10 out of 10. I've never given any game a 10 out of 10, but it is a 9. And it's the closest to a 10 I think I've ever played. This game certainly holds the highest rating of any game I've ever played for me personally, and I suppose that's the reason I replay it every year. I really do hope you enjoyed this series as much as I enjoyed recording it for you guys. This is definitely a labor of love. I got a lot of passion about this, and I hope that showed through in some of these videos, and if anything, I just hope I did it some justice, because it deserves it. I hope I managed to give this game some shine and get some people interested to go back to play it again, or to play it for the first time if they never have. I suppose if I did that, then it will have all been worth it. Now let's try not to get lost in the shuffle now.
The crowds outside are getting restless.
Yes, I'm ready. Let's go.
Right. I'll take you there now. Follow me.
In the months that followed their wedding, Alistair and Honora proved themselves a surprisingly effective pair. Alistair spent a great deal of time at court, showing willingness to learn the art of governing from Honora, and often deferring to her judgment, and no one was more surprised by this than Honora herself. The two of them made numerous outings into Denerim and the other settlements in Ferelden, supervising the reconstruction process and greeting their subjects personally, much to the commoners' enthusiastic approval. Many said the chaos of the Civil War and Landsmeet were worth it for delivering such beloved monarchs. News that the Urn of Sacred Ashes had been found in Ferelden did not spread outside the Chantry until Brother Genetivi made an announcement several months after the defeat of the Darkspawn. The manuscript detailing his research and his experience with Andraste's cult drew huge interest among scholars throughout Thedas. Some years later, the Chantry announced that the resting place of Andraste's ashes had indeed been found. A ripple of excitement spread among the pious people of Thedas, with many undertaking pilgrimages to see the ashes or partake of their healing powers. Following months of effort, the Tower of the Circle of Magi was finally cleansed of the last spirits to slip through the veil. No further abominations were created, and First Enchanter Irving was pleased to declare the circle safe. All that could be saved had been. With the slavers shut down in the alienage, the lot of the city-born elves improved for a time. The new king even named the local elder to his personal court. A scandal amongst the humans, but a sign of new hope to the elves. Shiani continued to be an outspoken member of the alienage community, and in time became the new elder. That outspokenness earned her frequent trouble, but served her people well. Arl Eamon remained in Denerim for some time, acting as the Chancellor and Chief Advisor to King Alistair. Tegan ruled over Redcliffe in his stead, and was surprised to find himself well loved by the villagers, who were still grateful for the nights he spent defending their lives. In time, Eamon abdicated in favor of his brother, an event the locals greeted with approval and enthusiasm. The young woman Caitlin eventually made it to Denerim safely, and used the small fortune she received for her father's sword to open a foundry while the city rebuilt. The foundry did well, turning her into a wealthy and respected woman. By chance, she met Tegan again at court, and within months, the two of them married. Ella, the tavern wench, made it to Denerim safely. With the money she was given, she opened a brewery of her own. The Dalish elves prospered after the siege at Denerim, having earned much respect for their part in the battle. For once, human lands welcomed the wandering folk. The new keeper, Lanaya, was respected both amongst the Dalish as well as in the Ferelden court. She was a voice of reason, and other Dalish clans would turn to her to help resolve disputes with human folk. In time, many of the Dalish clans moved to the new land provided for them in the south near Ostagar. Wary of their human neighbors, however, tensions soon rose again, and only Keeper Lanaya's leadership kept peace alive. In Orzammar, King Haramont found himself in a protracted battle against Balin's rebellion that left him unable to gain the stability he needed. The clan lords objected to many of his measures in the assembly, and only his efforts to increase the dwarves' isolation from the surface met with any success. In time, Haramont's health began to fail. Some claimed it was poison, while others said it was a flagging spirit. Either way, after a protracted illness, the king finally passed away. The wrangling in the assembly for a successor began almost immediately. Brother Berkel's new chantry in Orzammar drew a surprising number of converts among the dwarves. They quickly attracted a great deal of anger from more conservative quarters, and before long, the assembly severely restricted the Andrastians' rights. Brother Berkel resisted, and was slain while being arrested during a peaceful demonstration in the commons. The assembly claimed this was an accident, but news of the resulting riots reached the chantry on the surface, where the divine even contemplated a new exalted march. The dwarven mage, Dagna, ultimately completed her studies at the rebuilt Circle Tower. Eventually, she published a comprehensive theory of how lyrium vapors relate to the supply of magic. It gained a great deal of attention. Although the Anvil of the Void was destroyed, rumors about its location crept into Orzammar. Years later, thanks to the defeat of the Darkspawn on the surface, a few determined smiths managed to locate the Anvil's remains. They examined the ruins of the Anvil, and, upon returning to Orzammar with their findings, convinced the Shaper to attempt to recreate Caridin's research. A new golem was created, bound with a spirit taken from the Fade. The golem immediately went insane, killing several Shapers before it was destroyed. The research was branded excessively dangerous and sealed away. Whispers of its existence circulated throughout Orzammar, however, and demand among the Smithcast to reopen Caridin's research refused to abate. As good as her word, Morrigan disappeared once the Archdemon was slain. Someone of Morrigan's description was seen traveling alone, months later, heading west through the Frostback Mountains, and she may even have been with child. There was no word of her after that. With Flemeth dead, or at least gone, the chances of tracking her down were slim indeed. One cannot help but wonder, however, what became of the child? What were Morrigan's plans? These questions must remain a mystery. For now. The companions who had traveled with Apparition eventually scattered to the Four Winds, drawn either by personal duty or the call to further adventure. The Grey Wardens welcomed their hero back into the fold, even if the suspicions of those who wondered how Apparition managed to survive were sometimes given quiet voice. As the blighted lands began to heal, and the Grey Wardens slowly rebuilt the Order in Amaranthine, they discovered that the fight against the Darkspawn was not yet complete. Although the Horde was rooted, and had dissolved upon the Archdemon's death, many of the more powerful Darkspawn survived, to organize roving warbands that preyed both upon the land and upon each other. These warbands spread havoc, and some even journeyed west into Orlais, or crossed the Shining Sea by the deep roads. They proved incredibly difficult to wipe out. But these are tales yet to be told. This tale ended when Apparition sank his blade into the Archdemon's head and destroyed it forever. It was not the last that Ferelden would hear of him, however.